What should I do?
Ich weiß.
Get Germanized.
Hallo und willkommen. Ich bin Meister Lindsay. This is Jesselyn and this is Vlog Dave. And today we talk about...
things that I wish Canada had that Germany has.
Indeed. Alright, let's get started. I'll keep you guys alive again by driving places. And you guys carry the video.
Okay. So, first thing that I wish Canada had is German breakfasts.
German breakfast.
Yes, these rolls with like all of the spreads that you guys have here.
All of the spreads.
All of the spreads. We don't have, like, for us, like for spreads, we have like peanut butter and maybe jam, and you can probably get Leberwurst, like liverwurst in English. Liverwurst.
Liver sausage.
Yeah, liver sausage.
Sounds very appealing, I'm sure.
I'm not a big fan. But we don't have so much. And in fact, our breakfasts are quite... unless you're having like a British breakfast, which is also quite unhealthy.
Yes.
Or you're having, say, toast or cereal. Usually our breakfasts are not that nice, but in Germany, the breakfasts, like, they have so many different types of just like spreads with like different cheeses and different meats and like all sorts of deli meats. You also have like really creative spreads. Like, there's one I really like that I've tried in Hamburg, and it's like a mixture of horseradish, cream cheese, and cranberries.
Sounds nice. Okay.
And it's really nice. Yeah, we don't have so much of that in Canada. And of course, we also don't eat a ton of vegetables with our breakfast. Usually breakfasts are grainy, like more grain to milk products, as well as sweet things like fruit or sweet cereals. Yeah, not so much for vegetables.
I mean, do we eat a lot of vegetables though? I mean, I know that we have servings of tomatoes and cucumber and stuff like that on the table sometimes, because some people actually put that on their bread rolls as well, and just to have a little crunch, a healthy kind of crunch in it.
Well, like, the thing is, like, we'll have tomatoes, for example. Tomatoes are what we will have with breakfast. But like cucumber, you wouldn't really have with breakfast. That's more like a snack to lunch thing. Yeah,
interesting.
So the breakfast here are quite nice. Yeah.
One question there. I mean, Germany is known for its many types of bread.
Yes.
What is that like in Canada? Do you have also like those many?
We don't have as many types of bread. What is really typical to eat is called rye bread. Roggen, I think. It's usually made with a particular type of red wheat, a red grained wheat. And so, because we have a really large, like where I come from, it's very agricultural, so we really push the whole rye bread and this red wheat. So that's a really common bread. We do also have pumpernickel, not so commonly eaten, and white bread, which I don't eat because it's just sugar. I don't like it. But as far as bread variety goes, it's usually just variations of rye and brown. We just call it brown, which is the whole wheat bread. Okay. So we just call it. And brown, yeah. Brown bread, and then white bread, but not so much like in Germany. You have like all these ones with the seeds on it, and it almost like a little bird feeder. But
my favorite.
But I really like Dinkelbrot.
Dinkelbrot is good.
I like that one.
But I also really like pumpernickel as well. Yeah.
Pumpernickel.
Yes. So
it's like
a lot more bread.
Pumpernickel.
It's like a gym bro canickel, a rabbit. Anyway.
Yes. So yes, the bread here, the bread in Germany is more plentiful, or at least there's more variety. But yeah, I typically eat rye bread in Canada with peanut butter.
Interesting.
I love peanut butter.
Not maple.
Me too.
Not maple syrup?
No, not in this case. Don't be silly. Yeah, peanut butter. I love peanut butter with bananas.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Yes.
And pineapple apple pen. Yeah.
Yes. I also, like, I guess, yes, I mentioned this before, but in Canada, I wish we had less of the small talk. Like the whole useless how are yous that no one really cares to know about, and the conversations.
Don't you mean a boot?
No, I don't mean a boot, I mean a boat. Yes. That's right, I can't say a boat properly. So yeah, less small talk.
I mean, are we going like boot in the boots right now?
Out. I say out, actually. Out and about. I honestly cannot say out. Like how Americans would say out, I just can't. It's my out, I go out. It's like oats almost, I go out.
You say boot, I say out.
Yeah, but I don't say a boot.
And no one does. Maybe some people, I don't know.
Maybe the really, really far on the East Coast where they really speak like with an Irish accent.
No. My apologies for interrupting you anyway.
No problem.
Yeah,
it's your channel, it's totally fine.
Wow.
But yeah, so less small talk would be nice, especially when you have conversations and you can just tell they're trying to just, like I said, fill the void and just act like they care about what you're saying. Not so fun. But also, I wish that Canada had cheaper food. And I know that part of that has to do with like the cost of transportation, because Canada is obviously much larger and our climates don't necessarily support all of these vegetables and fruits that other countries maybe get right away. So yeah, our food is quite expensive compared to Germany. So that would be something. Would be nice if we had cheaper food in some way, find out some way to make that happen, and just of a better quality. Our milk is good, but
why is the milk got nothing else?
Well, the milk is actually pretty strictly regulated in Canada. There's only so many parts per million of bacteria allowed in our milk. So, and obviously no antibiotics are allowed to be, residual antibiotics are allowed in the milk. So it's more strictly regulated. But we use a very particular breed of, we call them Holstein cows, so Holstein.
Okay.
That have a higher milk yield than the average cow. Yes.
Do you have also like so many different types of milk, like Haarmilch and then like
Haarmilch?
Yeah.
Haarmilch. No, that is something I found in Germany. I thought was some sort of black magic, because I'm like, why are we having milks in not a cold place? So it's so strange. No, we have, you'll see things like, well, it'll usually just be based on percentage. If anything, it'll be the difference between organic and non-organic, and then you'll have like 1, 2, and 3.5% milk, and that's about, and then chocolate milk if you like it.
I do like chocolate milk.
Who doesn't like chocolate milk?
I don't like it so much.
What?
It's too sweet.
Yeah, it doesn't contain maple. I forgot.
Too sweet, yeah, it
It's
doesn't
too
contain
sweet.
milk. If it was hot maple milk, maybe.
Oh, I might try that.
Tempting.
It is tempting.
Isn't it?
It is tempting. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, chocolate milk, that's another thing. But maple, I'll go for that.
All right.
Yeah. The transportation in Canada is really frustrating.
Why?
Well, if you're in Canada, we have what's called the number 1 highway. It's basically the highway that goes across the country. But if you don't have access to a car, you're kind of stuck. So we have, like, say, the Greyhound bus that you can take. The Greyhound is the next best option if you actually want to leave a city, but it doesn't go everywhere. And so, you, like, for example, if I want to visit my mom in the town she lives in, outside of Winnipeg, I'm not going to be able to get there by bus. Taxis are going to be expensive. And are even just flying, for example, if you want to go from province to province, because we travel in the measurement of days. So if you want to drive from, like, that's why if you talk to a Canadian, we usually will tell you distance and time, because everything takes so long.
Well, that does make sense to me, though, because they don't want the different districts get too friendly with each other before the Hunger Games, right?
Yeah, that's true.
In Canada.
We don't want to have that kind of connection. Too personal makes it harder to carry out the killing. Yeah.
Nice one.
But yeah, then there's but the thing is with transportation is it's really expensive. So whereas in Germany you can get, like, say, these like cheap flights with Ryanair or something to go somewhere. If I want to, say, fly from Winnipeg to Toronto, if I want to drive, that drive will probably take me 4 days.
Oh, wow.
But if I want to get there faster than that, I have to take an airplane, and the airplane, which maybe takes about 2.5 hour flight, is probably going to be at least $400, if not more.
I mean, to be fair, the flights within Germany are pretty expensive too. If you don't use, you can't use Ryanair for like inside Germany flights or national flights.
I've used EasyJet.
EasyJet is the thing, but I don't think they go to Munich or something like that.
They do.
What?
I flew from Berlin to Munich.
Damn it! Maybe I was
but
wrong.
I mean, you know, ecologically speaking,
it makes sense.
It makes sense that they are expensive. Like
they should be. Probably.
Well, it's also because we don't have so many companies. So, for example, like in Canada, we don't have a ton of different airlines or discount airlines. We think we have a new one called New Leaf.
Okay.
And it's basically
New Leaf.
Yeah, and it's only available on certain days of the week, and you can only fly between certain places, like Edmonton to Winnipeg or Winnipeg to, I don't know, Halifax or something.
Like Animal Crossing.
Halifax.
Yes, Halifax.
Yeah.
But we don't have. But we also have the only other ones we have is Air Canada, which I'm not a big fan of, and WestJet, which is actually quite nice. But then the only other air company that we have based in Canada is called Bearpaw, and they only fly you to northern communities. So they're like a bush plane company. They really remote locations.
Okay.
So you don't fly with them so often, but it's really expensive. And if you don't have a car, you're not going anywhere. And like I said, Greyhound also, it just takes so long. Everything's so long.
Greyhound.
Greyhound is like the dog. Could be. No, it's more, it's like a dog, a type of dog, that like a racing dog, the really skinny ones like on The Simpsons. Yeah, they're a dog.
Release the hounds.
Exactly, release the hounds. So yeah, there's the greyhound. And otherwise, yeah, transportation even within the cities is really terrible. Not made for bikes. It's not made for, even the city buses are terrible. It's like you have to have a car. Like the whole infrastructure is based around cars because everything's so far. Something that I think would be really nice in Canada is if we had something like BlaBlaCar.
Oh yeah.
That would be nice.
Used that once when I went from where was it? Well, from around here, the north of Germany, to Stuttgart in the south. And it was super cheap in comparison to anything else that could have gotten me there. Like, for example, it was about 30 euros, I think, like one way. And a train would have cost me over 100 euros, I'm sure, if I remember correctly at least. I mean, you can get those super flexi, super cheap prices, whatever, but you gotta be lucky or book very early on. I mean, for BlaBlaCar, you kind of need to be lucky as well. Damn it, you can't go here. That's why I was confused for a second.
Just thinking about it, because it's right here, which you can see right now in the camera, the Dixie Klo. Is that a typical German thing as well? Dixie?
Yeah, we don't have that. I mean, we have porta potties, but we don't have Dixie.
Anyway, transportation.
I mean, it also transports stuff. I mean, it helps.
You are the transporter.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, I'm Jason Statham.
Yep, just the poop
Don't look in the
version.
trunk.
Yes. The poop version. The trunk is also referring to something.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, BlaBlaCar is definitely something very convenient if you're lucky enough to find someone who's going your way, right? Because what BlaBlaCar is, for those who don't know, you can basically share a car with people that go in a certain direction, and they would put an ad up on that page saying, hey, I'm going from there to there, stopping in certain places, and if you want, you can join me for that amount.
Yeah, it's usually, for example, to go from where I live to say Hamburg costs like 11 euros.
Yeah.
Which is a lot cheaper than, say, Flixbus, and a lot cheaper than Deutsche Bahn, and it's also faster.
Yeah.
In Canada, we just don't have that. I think the only drive share we have is, I think we use Uber in some cities, but they're even trying to get rid of that because the competition with the taxi companies and the monopoly it causes. But, well, there's some people who just drive Uber as their business. But yeah, then when it comes to long distance traveling, our options are super, super limited. So it would be nice to have something like BlaBlaCar. Of course, the thing is, people going places that it would be difficult to find locations, but it would still be nice just to have something that wasn't so expensive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So then another thing that I think that would be nice that Canada had would be, I don't think it's so much in this part of Germany, but where I live, we have, what's standard is half-liter beers.
Oh, yeah?
No, the 0.5.
Halbe Maß.
Yeah, Halbmaß, yeah. They are, it's nice because it was a lot cheaper. And like it's a lot cheaper by comparison. Like in Canada, alcohol is super expensive. Not like compared like the Scandinavian countries, they'll be paying a lot more, but in Canada we still pay a high tax on our alcohol. I think they call it a sin tax, actually.
Syntax?
Yeah, like
and the syntax.
yeah, sin tax, like Zunda, like you're like a sinner. So it's called sin tax. This is ridiculous, but yeah, we pay a lot for alcohol, and you get such a small amount. So whereas I could go to certain pubs where I live and maybe pay 4 euros for a 1 liter of beer, in Canada you'll get a 0.3, like one of those, 0.3 liter beers, and you'll probably pay $6 to $8 depending on where you are. So I've even paid $12 in some places.
Okay.
So there's such high tax on alcohol. So it'd be nice if that was a bit cheaper because we just pay so much. And I think also this hugging culture. So when I first came to Germany, I thought the hugging was weird because for us, like touching each other and being so close to each other it's obviously really personal. And so if someone is hugging you, it's just seen as an act of intimacy. So like I know in Europe they even do like sometimes a kiss on the cheek, not so much in Germany, but like in England they do that, in France they do this kiss on the cheek. For us that's also really strange, but in Germany what was totally unexpected, but now I've come to find it to be really nice, is this hugging. Of course, right now with Corona, we don't hug. which has become more like the standard that I would be used to in Canada, where you see each other, you say hello. The only people you hug in Canada are really just your family members. You only would hug a friend if they're like having a really hard time, like having a mental breakdown or something.
Oh, wow.
Like an emotional moment, then you would give them a hug or like pat them on the back.
Yeah.
But an actual like double-armed hug, that's a little too personal.
Well, okay.
Yeah, but I think it would be really nice because I've come to find in Germany now that's become normal that, or at least it was.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Thanks,
Sorry.
Corona. It's actually really nice just to, I don't know, I just think it's nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I do agree as well.
Nice little way to say hello and goodbye.
But isn't it really like, in a way, counterintuitive? Because, Germans are often seen as really distant at times and stuff,
Yeah.
but then we
And
also like
hugging.
hugging.
Yeah, and it is really counterintuitive, and I think that's why I was so surprised, because I was warned before I came here. Yeah, in Germany, they're kind of colder, more distant culture. They don't like small talk, so we're very much brought like into this whole situation with the idea that in Germany, well, first of all, we all think it looks like Bavaria, and
Everyone does.
everyone's just like lederhosen and Dirndl, so tracht clothing or traditional clothing. But then when it comes to actually and like everything else, they're kind of cold. They don't really like to talk to you. They're really distant. And then you come here, and it's true in some capacity, but then they want to hug you. So it's a nice little like, oh, never mind, like a little counterbalance.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that's a nice thing.
Is there anything else on the list?
No.
No? Great.
yeah.
That means we're through for today.
Yes.
Actually, we've been filming a whole bunch of videos. If you want to see those, well, you can also watch them on this channel, subscribe and check them out. If you want, what did we film so far?
It was life in Germany versus life in Canada. Things that I miss about Canada that I wish Germany had, then vice versa. So what Canada doesn't have that Germany has.
Yes.
And also habits that I've picked up since living in Germany.
And we're also probably going to film taking the Canadian citizenship test as Germans without preparing. So
No studying.
No studying. We're going to film that when we're, well, home probably. So check that video out as well. Now we have to film it. And I would say, apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen. Bye.
Tschüss.
Bye.